A lot of people believe that you have to get lucky in order to be successful on TikTok, that the algorithm is just randomly picking people to go viral, and there's nothing that you can do as a creator to be successful. And if I'm honest, I used to think that too. I was creating videos that were stuck at 200 views, and I knew the content was good. I knew it helped my clients and it was gonna help my viewers, and I was so frustrated that the algorithm wasn't picking up my content. So I did what most people do. I listened to the gurus, I created a bunch of new accounts, hoping one of them would magically go off, and what I eventually realized was that I wasn't failing because the algorithm wasn't picking me to go viral. It was because there were things about TikTok that I didn't understand yet. And now that I've figured them out, I'm gonna break them all down for you. Today, I'm going through what I believe are the most important things for you to be able to grow on TikTok, even if you are a complete beginner. And this video is packed. So grab a notebook, don't be afraid to pause the video. Let's get into it. Number one, you have to post every day. This is number one because one, it is the message I needed for myself today, but it's also the most important thing that you can do. Posting every day builds momentum. It allows you to learn and fail forward fast. It proves that you are a consistent creator and will make you more successful on TikTok. Look, I didn't want to record this video today. I deal with this too. But I sat down and I recorded. I made the video because I have made a commitment to grow on this platform and to show up for you guys on YouTube, and it's the same thing on TikTok. If you want to grow on TikTok, you have to post every day. You have to have that consistency. Post at least once. It only takes a couple of minutes. It's very easy to do. Number two, consistency doesn't just mean posting every day. It also means consistency of what you are posting, consistently posting about the same topic. People freak out about the idea of niching down, but the reality is if you are posting about one theme or one set of related topics that are speaking to a specific individual and what they are interested in, you are going to be wildly more successful. One, because the people that follow you and the people that see your videos are going to keep coming back for more because they know that they can always come to you for that hit of whatever the juice is that you bring, whatever the information, the education is that you bring. They can depend on you for it. But beyond that, it helps the algorithm figure out what you are about, who to show your videos to, and you are going to reap the rewards in the way of views and virality. Number three, you have to do the research. I feel like I've been saying this a lot in videos lately where people comment and they're like,
Mike, I'm implementing everything in your videos and it's not working. I'm still stuck at 200 views.
And then I grab my phone, I go and I look at their profile and they're not doing what I teach. They're not doing it. It's very clear that they're not researching. They're posting whatever the heck they want. And so what I want for you is to adopt the mindset of YouTube creators on TikTok. On YouTube, the culture is that we go research and see what's working so we can grow as quickly as possible because we all know when we sit down to grow on YouTube that it's gonna take time. And maybe it's the fact that you can be an overnight success on TikTok that makes us feel like we don't have to research, we just have to post and we'll magically go viral. But like those days are gone. You can still go viral, but you have to be strategic. So just like on TikTok, where we research what our competitors are doing and what worked for them, the best titles, the best thumbnails, we look up the keywords and we see what are the ones that have a lot of search volume and have low competition. We need to be doing that research on TikTok as well. But the research on TikTok is so much easier because all you need to do is look at the other creators in your space that do talk about the same things that you do, follow them, look at their videos in the feed, and check their profile every couple of days and see what are the outlier videos. What are the videos that are getting a ton of views for them compared to the normal amount of views they get? Then pay attention to what those videos are about, how long they are, all of that kind of stuff, but especially those topics and the hooks that they use, and then go make your version. It's not that difficult. You also want to be researching the trends because if you jump on a trend, it's going to give you a little extra boost and make it more likely for you to go viral. And if you go viral, you're getting followers, you are getting leads, you are getting sales. It's very helpful. So if you want to learn more about how to research and find the trends, I have another video on that. You can check it out here. Number four, you need to post more. Posting more means you grow faster. You might see people saying, hey, you need to post 3 to 5 times a day. You really don't need to do that. I only posted 1 time a day to go from 0 to 10,000 followers, and I did that in under 60 days, and I've helped a lot of my other clients do that as well. But it is a fact that when I started posting more, when I started posting 2, 3 times a day, I started to grow faster because I was giving myself more shots, more opportunities to get that viral video. And most importantly, I was putting more out there to find out whether the video or the hook or the idea worked or didn't work, and I was able to focus on what was working and use that data to learn and improve faster, which allowed me to make better videos, go viral more often, and grow even more quickly. As soon as you can get to where you post consistently every single day, start posting more often. But there's two caveats to this. Number one, do not sacrifice your research to post more. It's not worth posting 3 to 5 times per day if you're sacrificing your research and making sure that you're finding what is working in your niche and creating videos around that. I would much rather you only post 1, 2, 3 times per day and do the research. Number two, there is a limit to this. If you start posting 5, 6, 7, 9 times a day, it might work for a little bit, but one day you're going to post that 7th video and you're going to get 0 views because the algorithm is going to think that you're a spammer and they are going to punish you for it. Number 5, you need to take imperfect action. And I'm about to go through a couple of things that don't matter that you're stressing about, so you don't have to worry about them anymore and you can take that action. But it's really important that you just make and post videos and that you don't worry about the numbers that are there. If you have a video that gets no views or gets low views, who cares? Go on to the next one. Don't delete it. Just keep making videos. Keep doing the research. Keep trying things. Then, this is the next point, focus on your winners. You will learn so much more from your videos that are successful than the ones that didn't work. Don't worry about the ones that didn't work. Who cares? Move on. Once you have a winner, do more of that. Keep making videos on that topic because clearly it's working for you. Make more videos in that length using that format. Do more of the stuff that works and you're going to grow fast. Now, let's knock out 2 things that you're overthinking that are slowing you down and preventing you from taking imperfect action. First, when should you post? The answer is it doesn't matter. Posting times do not matter. I don't care what you're hearing other people say about needing to post at specific times. I can tell you from what I've done and from the clients that I've worked with that it has 0 impact. There's a lot of things that are more important than posting time, which I'm going to get into in a second. The second one is hashtags. Hashtags will not make you go viral. I'm going to explain to you in a little bit how to use hashtags because they can help you slightly, but you shouldn't be stressing about this. Just don't use the FYP hashtag. Use hashtags related to what your video is about and don't overthink it. Because the most important thing when it comes to successful videos are good ideas. Let's talk about the 3 most important things when you're creating a YouTube video. The first one is the idea, because if you don't have a good idea, nobody's going to watch the video. The second thing is the title and the thumbnail, because that's what gets somebody to click on the video. And if your idea combined with your title and thumbnail can't even get somebody to click on the video, then YouTube will stop giving you impressions and you won't get the views. And then finally, the first 30 seconds of a YouTube video are essential. And you see that in the analytics curves where it like starts up top, and a lot of times, especially in educational content, you'll lose like 50% of your audience in the first 30 seconds. So the better that you're able to hook them and keep their attention in the first 30 seconds, the more people are going to stay and watch more of the video. And that watch time leads to the big views on YouTube. Now, all of these things are true of TikTok as well. If you don't have a good idea, your video will not succeed on TikTok. People have to be interested in what you're talking about, because if they're not interested, they're just gonna swipe on past and then your video is gonna die. The difference on TikTok is that we don't have a title or thumbnail to grab their attention. Instead, they're just scrolling through their feed, your video pops up, and you have to get them to stop scrolling. And one of the easiest ways to do that is with what you're putting on the screen. And so I really like to use a big text headline over my head that has something that's gonna make them go, I wanna check this out and listen a little bit, so that way you can earn the first 3 seconds of the video. This is the equivalent of the first 30 seconds on YouTube. This is where you have to hook them. You literally have about 3 seconds where the words that you say have to get them interested so they will continue watching your video, whether it's an 8-second video, a 30-second video, or a minute-plus video. But it all starts with a good idea. So you need to make sure you're doing that research and getting great ideas for your video based on what's already proven instead of just trying to make stuff up and hope it works. Now, the reason I talked about that headline in the first 3 seconds is because watch time is what matters most to getting views on TikTok. And it's not just how long they watch the video, it's the percentage of the video that they watched. And so if you have a 5 to 8 second video and they watch 100% of it, there's a good chance that that video is going to go viral. But if you have a 1-minute video and they only watch 40%, even though that's like 24 seconds of watch time, they're not sticking around for that video. You're not keeping them there with the video you provided. So since that watch time percentage is so much lower, that video is probably going to die off. So creating shorter videos is actually going to allow you to get a higher percentage of watch time and make it easier easier for you to go viral and grow in the beginning. Now, I'm going to talk about the 2 types of content that you need to be successful later in the video, but for now, just realize go with the shorter video when you're doing your research because it's going to be easier when you're starting out. Now, I already mentioned using the headline to stop the scroll, but there's other ways you can stop the scroll as well. And the biggest one is the hook, which is just the statement that you make, the first thing that you say in the video. You want them to be clear, this video is for me, and you want to get their interest. You want to make them curious. Curiosity is one of the best things that you can do. So if I was creating a video on TikTok about how to grow and get views, I might start with something like why you're not getting views on TikTok, or here's why you're only getting 200 views every time you post on TikTok. If you're not getting views on TikTok, you're probably making one of these 5 mistakes. You hear that and you're like, there's curiosity. I have that problem. What is the reason why? I want to know. And now you're going to stick around and I've got my chance to hold you with the rest of the content and deliver the valuable goods. Another thing that you should do is use the auto captions feature on TikTok, because a lot of times people are watching these videos while they're just sitting on the couch scrolling. Maybe they're at the doctor's office for one of their kids, or maybe their wife is watching The Bachelorette. Not that this ever happens to me, but I don't care about The Bachelorette. So I can sit there and sip my bourbon and scroll through TikTok and research my new ideas. And if somebody has captions on their videos, it's a lot easier for me to consume it than to have the sound playing, because she's going to be like, turn that off. I don't want to hear that. I'm trying to figure out who wins the, Golden Bachelor Old Man Sweepstakes. The next thing I want you to know is that TikTok is black and white. If your videos are good, you will get views. If your videos are bad, you will not get views, because every single person on the platform gets 200 to 300 views for absolute free. That way the algorithm can test the performance of your video and decide whether to push it on to other people. So the most powerful thing that you can do to be successful on this platform is to take responsibility for how you're doing. Because if you aren't getting the views, it means that you have room to improve. So if you want to be successful, if you want to grow a business, if you want to grow your views, then you need to look at it not like,
why is this happening to me?
But instead saying that wasn't working. I need to figure out how to make it work. How can I improve my content? How can I go do the research to figure out what people actually want to see so I can start to use that to grow my account? Because the substance of what you're talking about might be very good and very valuable, but you might just have it packaged wrong. Now, moving on, there are actually a couple of settings inside of your account that I want to make sure that you have set up correctly, because they can potentially have a big impact on your ability to grow. So if you go to your profile, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to go to the top right to your menu. You're going to go to settings and privacy, and you're going to go to account. And here you want it to say switch to business account, because that means you have a creator account. And that is actually what we want to have. It's really important. It is much easier to grow with creator accounts because creator accounts get to use the commercial sounds, and all of the trends on TikTok use commercial sounds. So if you have a business account, you can have a link in your profile right away, but you can't use commercial sounds, which means it's harder to grow. Because like I mentioned earlier, trends give you a little push. They give you a little boost and make it easier to go viral by riding that wave. But when you have a creator account, even though you won't get that link in bio until you get to 1,000 followers, you are going to be able to use these trending sounds, and it's a huge advantage. So that's the first thing I want you to do, is I want you to make sure that you have a creator account. It will help you so much. Next, I shouldn't have let that go back into settings, and you are going to go down to privacy, and you're going to see suggest your account to others. You're going to click on that, and I want everything to be turned off. And I just want you to think about this. Like when you're creating, most of your friends, your family, your people that you're connected with on Facebook or inside of your contacts, they're not your ideal viewer or your ideal customer. So we don't want our content being suggested to them. We want the algorithm to suggest it to the strangers that have the interest in the type of content that we're creating. And so we're going to turn all of that off to make sure that the algorithm has to figure out who to show it to. And that way we don't have somebody like our great Aunt Tessie or whatever that ends up watching our video and then she bounces off. She doesn't actually watch it. She watches 5 seconds and it hurts your statistics, and then you're not able to get more views. So these settings are important because they're going to help the algorithm work for you and help you get better results. But there's also some things that you can do to help make the algorithm work harder for you. And that is, you want to take advantage of every tool that you can to make sure that the algorithm understands like what your content is about and who it is for. And there's a lot of different ways that you're going to be able to do that. The first one we already talked about. You need to be talking about the same topics over and over and over. That way they know what you're about and who to show it to. But there's other things that you can do too. And it really comes down to 3 big ones. The first one is that you can use the auto captions and the text on your screen to have those rich keywords that talk about, what the video is about. So if you're talking about a topic and you hit auto captions, you're already talking about those things, and that will help signal to the algorithm what is the video about. The next thing you can do is you can use your hashtags. I told you we were going to come back to this. Your hashtags should be about that specific video. I usually recommend that you have one like cornerstone hashtag. It's the umbrella topic that every single one of your videos is about and that can apply to every video you post. And you're going to use that every time you post. But for the rest of the hashtags, you just want to make sure that you're using 3 to 4 more of them that are specific to that video. Signal what that video is about, and as long as it's on your core topic, then it's going to do well. Don't try to do like the biggest hashtags or like the most ones you think are most viral. Use those hashtags to signal what the video is about so the algorithm can show it to the right person. That is going to help you take advantage of that initial sample group of 20 people and get better results and go have like a higher chance of going viral. And then finally, don't waste the description. So many people barely put any thought into the description on their videos, like the little text that you're adding at the bottom. Most people aren't going to read that, but that's your opportunity to use a lot of keyword-rich text to help show this is what the video is about. And you don't want to keyword stuff. Strategically use the keywords that your topic is about in natural language. And you can do this with AI tools if you're into that kind of thing, but it's so easy to like talk about. In this video, we're going to talk about why you're stuck in 200 view jail and the things that you need to do in order to grow on YouTube and start getting, or not YouTube, to grow on TikTok and start getting more views every single time you post, right? I just gave a bunch of information about what the thing is about. So take advantage of those things. Next, you should be creating 2 types of content because not every single piece of content is meant to go viral. And I like to split things into our growth content that is going to go, hit it big on the For You page, make a bunch of different people discover you for the first time. And then I want to have my trust building content. This is the content that converts, that gets sales, that builds that relationship, that gets people to stay, right? And so the growth content, this is the stuff that grows your account, goes viral. Whereas the trust building content, which is usually that talking head educational video, me explaining to you what you need to do so you can be successful, like that type of content, generally isn't going to get the big views. It's incremental. Those things will grow over time as you build your audience and you start to get a better idea of the topics that work and the winners from your research and analyzing what's worked on your account. But at first, they are going to get low views, even if your other views are going viral. So we want to separate it into the 2 things. And I would focus mostly on the growth content, do the research, find the outlier content, focus on the short videos with the trending sounds and the text on screen because those are going to help you grow the most. And for every 2 to 3 of those that you create, do a nice educational video that has a good proven hook that's been successful for someone else in your space already, but don't watch their video. Just take the first 3 seconds, the hook, the idea, the headline on their video, and then do your version of it and give that super valuable information and don't worry about the videos. Like those will grow eventually, but what it's for right now is so when someone discovers you, they can then watch that video and really get to know you, really get that value, and that's what leads them to follow and to click the link in your bio and eventually to join your email list and buy your stuff. So short to grow, long to sell. Final tips for you, and these are super important ones. First, create what you want to create and it feels good, but make sure you're only creating things that your audience actually wants to see. So I had another video planned for today, and I'm telling you, it was going to be a banger. When I went to my editor, Hudson,
He knows my name! He knows my name!
who's doing this video right now, and I showed him all the ideas I had. He saw this one. He was like, you have to do that. It's going to be so good. And it's coming. But I couldn't do it today. I sat down. I was like, I'm not in the mental space for this. I can't do it. I didn't want to post. And so I allowed myself to flow to the topic that I felt I could do. But I was still making a video that was for my audience. It was for y'all and the problems you have and the things that you're trying to learn and the problems you're trying to solve. So I wasn't just posting whatever the heck I want like I see a lot of you doing. I still posted the things that everybody's asking about in the comments and that I'm finding in my research. I just allowed myself to create the video that felt good to me today that I knew I could get done. And that's true on TikTok as well. But even with that, there's going to be times where you're struggling to create. You're struggling to come up with ideas. Even with the research, you don't really feel motivated. And this next piece of advice is kind of counter to the culture and what people normally say. And that's you need to consume in order to create. So I really look at my creation and consumption as like this fuel tank. And I've done this before, but this is my battery. And so when you create, you're draining your battery. And eventually you get to a point where you struggle to find ideas, you struggle to find inspiration. And consumption is how you recharge your battery and you fill it back up and get ideas. And so so if you are doing a good job of consuming things in your space or even related topics, like for me, I'm talking about how to grow on social media, but if I'm watching other business related topics to help myself, I'm going to make these connections in my mind. And so something they say might trigger an idea for me. That's how I had this idea today. And so you want to make sure you're not consuming too much, because if all you're doing is consuming and you're not taking action, you're never going to get anywhere. You want to be first a creator, not a consumer of content. But if you're stuck, refill the tank. Start watching other videos on TikTok. And as you do that, your brain will start to go, and I guarantee you'll find an idea. Now, these are all the lessons that I wish I had known when I first started on TikTok, but in this list, I don't actually go through the strategic step-by-step plan that I would be following to grow on TikTok today. So if you're starting on TikTok or you're just not happy with how quickly you're growing, you might want to check out this video where I show you exactly step-by-step how to grow an account on TikTok from scratch as quickly as possible. And in that video, I even pull out my phone, I show you exactly how to set up your account, how to research your content ideas, and walk you through step by step to creating your first TikTok video, so that way it has the highest chance of going viral and getting great views.